Hello and welcome back to another one of these CarCast video update type videos. I'm making this quick update for two reasons. The first one being to welcome Charles Clarke to the YouTube channel. You may have noticed that earlier today actually I published the very first video on Archaeosoup, which has not been made by me. I had a little bit of input at the end in terms of editing the beginning and end really, but apart from that it was all Charles. And I'm really excited by this, not only because Charles is an expert in human evolution, certainly more so than I am, but also as well I'm hoping that this will be the beginning of a trend where I can bring you interesting new faces. Frankly, this face gets very boring very quickly, and there are other people out there who can share with you very interesting information, exciting new finds, and do so in a charismatic and, dare I say, interesting fashion. So I'm hoping that as this new series with Charles develops, you'll learn more and more about human evolution, which I probably wouldn't be able to bring to you, certainly not with the up-to-date information that he has. And also as well, in the very near future, you'll see some other faces coming to the fore as well. Certainly there's one, possibly two people who in the very near future will be publishing a video or two on Archaeosoup as well. So very much an exciting development, fresh face, new exciting expertise, and also as well, frankly, a morning, well, sort of off for me, but it has meant I've been able to work on other things as well. So it's great, really, really great. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where other projects with Charles actually go in the near future. So welcome. And also, if you want to get involved, please do send me an email. Now, the second reason why I'm making this video is actually to do with this thing here. It is a deer antler, and this deer antler was given to me, well, lent to me a couple of days ago at a party. The house at the end of the street have recently finished a huge restoration project actually, and we're invited along, Mrs. Soup and I, to help them top off the house. From about 2 o'clock until around about 10 o'clock, we were enjoying the hospitality, some lovely food, and also some lovely alcohol. Much of it actually home brewed. So we had some things like, for example, Fruits of the Forest gin had turned up. There was a homemade IPA, some banana beer. It was all very nice actually. Anyway, towards the end of the evening, rather drunkenly, one of the people who live in the house showed me this, and I'd already been shown this before, but he reminded me of the story that went with it, and that is that it comes from Africa. His friend had brought it back from Africa, and said it was probably from an African animal. And I, admittedly in my sort of slightly sozzled state, said, well, that looks a bit closer to home to me. It looks like it's probably, I don't know, probably a red deer, actually. Certainly, probably European. And well, I thought, well, actually, I'm going to be interviewing one of Britain's, if not the world's, greatest archaeozoologists, certainly at the moment, in Peter Rowley Conway in a couple of days' time. Tell you what, I'll take this off your hands and ask him. So I handed it over to Peter just before we started filming our interview, and within seconds he said, oh, that's a red deer. Obviously, that's a red deer. And I was like, oh, thank goodness I'm not losing my faculties. But also, crucially, he did say, interestingly enough, it is rather squat and fat for a red deer. The nature of the antler is somewhat different. So it may well be a red deer population which has settled in North Africa, possibly from colonisation from Europe. So it's an interesting antler. So I thought I'd show you it partly for that reason. But also, actually, other people at the party were saying, oh, why do you know about Antler? You're an archaeologist. Why has Antler got anything to do with archaeology? And, well, I went on to explain, and I thought I'd share with you the explanation, in case you're wondering, that Antler is very useful. It's got certainly a very good strength in terms of the way in which it's designed to be hit is very strong in terms of the point and the length of the shaft. You can snap and shatter it if you really want to, but it's got a very good sort of I've forgotten what the term is now, but a very good squish strength, as it were. You can't really squish it lengthwise, but more than that, actually, for me, well, for example, it's been used in antler spears, so it's very good for being used as a spearhead, for example, amongst the Inuit. It's used in some elements of jewellery occasionally. Sometimes see it being used to make things like needles as well. But for me, probably the most interesting use of Antler is actually as a pickaxe. And this example is a very good example. It sort of looks a bit pickaxey already. You can almost imagine someone in a Hollywood movie sort of latching onto a cliff as they're about to go over the edge there. And they're incredibly effective pickaxes at that. For example, Grimes Graves, a Neolithic flint mine. There's the Avebury Henge, a huge henge monument, more or less dug out the pit of the henge, or the pit around the henge, I suppose, or the circular pit which delimitates the henge, was dug out using Antler pickaxes. There's the Great Orme in North Wales, not too far from where I'm from, which was also dug out using one of these, and well, not one of these, many of these. But the volume of rock which was removed from the Great Orme, which incidentally comes from a Norse name for this rock jutting out into the sea. It's called the Great Worm, the Great Monster. The amount of rock which came out of that monstrous mass of rock, or massive formation, massive land, was equivalent to the volume probably of St Paul's Cathedral in London, so not to be sniffed at. So these things were incredibly effective pickaxes. So I just wasn't, I mean, given that so many people were asking, why on earth do you know about pickaxes? Well, or rather, Antler pickaxes. Well, the reason why is because Antler is a very effective pickaxe and a very ubiquitous tool, certainly in prehistory. So, so there you go. 2 reasons for this video. The first one, to welcome Charles to the YouTube channel. The second one, to just let you know about Antler, and also that I was right. I'm not losing my mind, not losing my ability to identify Antler. Yes, it's an important skill. So I'm going to be handing this back to my neighbour in the very near future. But I just thought I'd just sort of let you guys know. Yeah, Antler is very useful for making tools and other things. Incidentally as well, in case you're wondering, Antler does tend to fall off deer fairly regularly. It's not something that you have to kill the animal to get, so don't worry, just in case you're a bit squeamish. So there you go, that is this CarCast done. You can look forward to some more videos coming your way this week. I have a very busy week ahead. You can tell because I'm slightly scatterbrained. Several meetings planned. But also, last week I had some wonderful developments come along, not least working with a local university and helping to deliver elements of their education in the 1st and 2nd year at uni. But I'll share more about that as and when I can. Until next time, please do take care. Do check out Charles's video and do offer him all the support you can. I'm really excited to see what else we can learn from that wonderful evolutionary anthropologist. As I say, do take care. Bye bye.